Iceland. To some, the most beautiful country in the world. Let's explore what lies in this strange little island that looks like it's located on completely another planet. Iceland has lifted its travel ban a few days ago, and tourists are allowed to the country again. We have this great opportunity to see Iceland almost tourist-free, which hasn't happened in years. I am Lex Universe, and this is Iceland post-Corona. Hello Internet, welcome to Lex Universe. So you can guess which country we're in. So, of course, it's Reykjavik, Iceland, and I hope you will enjoy it with me. It opens its borders a few days ago, on the 15th June, for the citizens of the European Union and the Schengen area. So I took an advantage, I booked the flights, and here I am. In this video I would like to share with you some of my first impressions of the city. It will not be a city guide, I will not even walk through the city, I will just talk. So if you're not interested in that, well, don't bother. But the first part of the video, I will take you back in time. I'll walk you through what I had to do in order to get here, because it's not easy. You will need to do some things in advance at home, so I will start with that. If you're not interested in that, you're just interested in my first impressions of Iceland, I will get to that in the second part of the video. I will give you the timestamp down in the comments. So let's go through it. So hello from the past. If you're watching this video, then you know that I already made it to Iceland, but let me walk you through all the bureaucracy that you have to go through if you want to get to Iceland now, just a few days after the travel ban was lifted. And if all of this nightmare is already over and you want to continue watching this video, you can just go to this time of the video and you will continue with me back in Reykjavik. But right now, let's go through the web page that you have to fill out. Alright, so first of all, you need to find this document and it will take you to this pre-registration form. You can open it right away. The address is quite simple, it's visit.covid.is, and here you will have to verify your phone. Now, I will stop the video for a moment, you don't need to see my phone number. Now, once you validate it, you will need to fill out all these information. The type of transport, which will be commercial flight. Here you will fill out the flight number. You will fill out your arrival date. In case you have spent some time before your arrival to Iceland in one of these two countries, which means Greenland, the Faroe Islands, well, not countries but territories, then you probably know, then you don't have to stay in the quarantine. But otherwise, you have to fill out this form, and here you will choose if you will go to the quarantine for 14 days or the duration of your stay, which is perfectly spent during your stay in Iceland, or if you will undergo the PCR test, and then you will just confirm it and send it. So we'll have to undergo this bureaucracy in case you want to go to Iceland. If you do it now until the end of June, it will be for free. At a later date, you will have to pay for the test, but until Iceland says we no longer require the test or quarantine, you will have to fill out this form every time you want to go to Iceland. So keep it in mind. So as you can see, I made it through the security. Not much has changed actually, although they're checking your passport or your ID card even if you travel inside the Schengen area, so that's a change. But I think I was a little bit overthinking coming here 2 hours in advance, because I'm like the only person on the whole airport, so there was basically no waiting line. So as you can see, I have the whole row for myself. Very cool, right? It's like first class. Now, like I said, they will test you at the airport. they will get your contact info, and in case you're positive, you'll get a phone call. Just one thing, the test itself doesn't take long, but honestly, the queue was quite long. I spent like half an hour, 40 minutes there, so be prepared for that. So my very first impression about Iceland was kind of cool. You know, it's the 21st of June, the summer solstice, the longest day in the year. So wherever you enjoy better than in a place where sun never sets. That's actually kind of interesting. I arrived at midnight, it was still sunny. Sunset a few minutes after that. And during the 3 hours that it was like a night here, it wasn't actually dark, it was kind of light. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and as you can see, it's still light. So that's kind of interesting. If you come here during summer, you will not have darkness at night. So that's something that you should prepare yourself for. But I had my fair share of night shifts in my life, so I'm able to sleep during daylight. That's not a problem. But if you're not, then consider that. Also, when I'm saying that, one thing that I will have to mention really quickly is if you come here during summer, you will not see the aurora, because there is no darkness, so it's not possible. So if you're interested in that, you can scrap the whole series that I'm producing and you can go somewhere else. But without further ado, let's get to other impressions. But I will move to another place because it's quite windy here and I don't think you would hear a word. So let's go. Honestly, another thing that kind of occurred to me on the first day here is it's actually not as expensive as I thought. I mean, I believe that in a way this is really hyped up. I'm not saying Iceland or Reykjavik are cheap, and it's possible that there could be some drop in prices due to the lack of tourists lately, but still, I don't think it's so much more expensive than, for example, Oslo or Zurich. Hello, Lex from the past. I'm Lex from the future. I can actually answer this question. The prices for Icelandic people are actually the same as they were prior to Corona, but the Icelandic krona has crashed after the Corona crisis and its value has dropped. So right now, basically everything that you can buy here is a lot cheaper than it's ever been. So first of all, that must have been really fucking expensive, because it's expensive still. And second, if you want to come to Iceland, this is the great opportunity. You should come now, because first, there are no tourists here, and second, it's much cheaper. Go to Iceland while you have the chance. By the way, you may think that I'm a fucking tourist, but I went to this souvenir shop and I bought this hat. And yeah, I know it has a motif of Reykjavik, but I have whale watching trip planned and I don't have any winter hat. You know, you wouldn't say that, but it's really difficult to get one of those in Prague during summer. You know, another thing that really surprised me about Iceland is when I was thinking about this trip, I didn't really pay much attention to Reykjavik itself, because in most of the tour guides they say there's nothing interesting in Reykjavik, and I believe them, and I shouldn't have. I really love this city, you know, like the city is like 300,000 inhabitants, but it's so colorful and so amazing, and like it feels so alive. You know, when you're walking through the streets, they're so beautiful and the people are super nice. One of the bartenders actually tried to speak Czech to me and taught me how to say cheers in Icelandic, which I successfully forgot. I knew it for a couple minutes. I even say it, and he complimented that, so anyway, I love this city. If you're coming to Iceland, I mean, really don't stay in Reykjavik, but don't skip it either. It's really cool. By the way, if you're interested in grocery shopping in Iceland, the problem is that they close actually quite early. So I tried Google mapping, and unfortunately most of the shops that allegedly were supposed to be open at this hour, which is like 10 p.m, were closed due to COVID-19 situation. Like, grocery shopping is more dangerous than going to a bar. But you get the gist. So if you want to buy something in a grocery shop, keep in mind that they close quite early. Well, you know how they have these 7-Elevens in many cities around the world? Well, here they have a special version, 10-11. But it's closed. So like I said, you cannot buy alcohol in the grocery shops. So you have to go to one of these state-owned alcohol shops. Let's go check it out. They have Czech beer, but it's like 6 times more expensive than in Czech Republic. But that's a very unfair comparison. Alcohol is never so cheap as in Czech Republic. One other thing that really surprised me here is you don't see anyone wearing a face mask. And the reason for that is they have actually like 0 active cases of COVID-19, so it's not necessary, I guess. One thing that kind of surprised me is actually English. So it's well known that most of the people in Iceland speak English, and that's true. But you cannot say the same about writings, because while there are some English writings here in Reykjavik, then many are in Icelandic only. And if you've ever seen Icelandic, it's a challenge to figure out what they're trying to say. So, and no question to all Icelandic people who are watching me, why sometimes you pronounce g as g, and sometimes you pronounce it as why? Why do you do that to the world, Iceland? Then we have orca, which is irongur, and white big dolphin. Oh, dolphin. Oh, that's nice. Nýþingur. Núfubakur. That's a. One other thing that I have to mention is the weather, because the weather here is really unpredictable. I mean, I wasn't really surprised by that, but you kind of have to realize, you kind of have to understand that if you're coming to Iceland even in summer, it's not like the summer. The average temperature is like 10 degrees Celsius at best, maybe 15, and the weather changes quite often. During one day, or even during 1 hour, you can have like really windy, you can have very sunny, you can have very overcast and really raining. I mean, right now you can see over there there is kind of a blue sky, but actually it's starting raining. But overall, I have to say I'm so happy that I'm here. This was my first international travel after COVID, and I can't be happier that I chose this country. This has been my dream for ages, and finally I'm here. And one great advantage of this thing is there's barely any tourists here. I cannot even say how much I enjoyed this. It's really amazing. And I mean, going through the test on the airport, that was totally worth it. And it's really starting raining, so I will end the video right here. If you've enjoyed it and you're hyped for more, like this video, subscribe to my channel, check out my other social media, and see you in the next video. We are going to explore the Blue Lagoon, and hopefully it will be much less crowded than what you can see in most videos on YouTube. See you then.